guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. A very, very popular request here on the channel is to bring a pro player on who is in a trophy range that applies to 90% of my viewers in the 4,000 to 6,000 range and play when they don't have a maxed out deck. That's exactly what we're going to try today. So please leave me your feedback and tell me what you think we can improve on or what you think of the general format of this video. If you like it, we will do more. Today, I am not alone. I am joined by Boss back on the channel. What's up, Boss? How you doing, man?
What's up, boss?
I'm gonna leave that in. Nah, I'm just joking. Just go. It's okay. I can cut it. Just say what's up, Ash.
All right. I can't believe I screwed that up. Anyways, what's up, Ash? I'm doing great. Thanks again for having me on.
No problem, dude. I have selected the top 5 win rates in the last 24 hours for that trophy range. I cleared these decks by you. You gave them your stamp of approval, but I want to talk a little bit about, catering to levels as well. And the first deck we're going to play is actually this Hog Earthquake deck. And I want to, why do you think this type of deck has a higher win percentage than 2.6? Is it just because of the sheer popularity maybe of 2.6, kind of bringing the win percentage down? And either way, with a deck like this, like, how do you deal with witches and wizards and stuff?
Well, yeah, that's the problem with this Hog Earthquake deck is you don't really have a way to kill sometimes those wizards and witches, and even some people sub in fireballs and logs to do that, but you can't even kill it then because if your fireball and log are under leveled, you still can't do it. So you might as well just have the Earthquake in the deck to at least have some way of breaking through buildings, because even if you have spells in the deck, you're not going to end up breaking through those over-leveled cards anyways.
Yeah, that's true. It just, like, I don't know. Like, so would you sub in something for Earthquake, or would you just run this version and see how it is?
I'm not sure. I feel like this is probably
the trickiest
best
of the 5
version
decks
if you don't have high level spells, but otherwise you could try 2.6 if your fireball is high enough level.
Okay. Yeah, like, okay, well, let's go ahead and hop into a match here, and then we'll talk more about it. But here's a quick look at the decks, guys. Again, all these deck links will be in the description below, but we have Bait coming up, we have Lava, Loon, we have Mega Knight, and we have Sparky deck, which is, again, the highest win percentage decks in the last 24 hours, so really up-to-date meta, because it's a new season and stuff, so things are really shifting. So, Boss, go ahead and search and let me know. Oh, you're already in a match right here. So
yeah, we're against the level 12.
Okay, perfect. This is exactly what we want here. So level 10 versus level 12. I mean, of course, you have to win. No pressure, man. So, all right, talk to me about this deck going against a higher level player, but 2 levels higher. Like, what is your? Are you going to be playing more defensively? Are you going to be? It's an aggressive deck as is. So, walk me through your thought process a little bit.
Okay, I don't.
What?
Oh, I think he's.
Oh.
I think he's using that clone mirror deck.
Oh my word. Well.
Wow.
That's interesting. I guess this is the stuff this is why we don't do these videos, guys. This is what you run into, right? I'm gonna leave this in, and I'm just gonna go ahead.
Surprised. This is actually when I was playing at this range, you get these matches sometimes. They do this crazy stuff, use these crazy decks. They just
we're not even gonna talk about this match anymore because this is like total Trollville. But I do want to. It looks like this guy's serious too in a weird way. I don't know. But I want to talk a little bit about strategy as we kind of, go through. We'll use this match as kind of an opportunity to talk a little bit about your play style versus higher level players who aren't playing a troll goblin barrel clone deck, okay? So, what would you go with in terms of, sorry about that Skype call, guys. What would you go with, and Ash uses Skype, yes. What would you go with in terms of when you're playing against higher level players? What types of strategy would you employ, generally speaking, to give you a better shot? Would you play more conservatively, or would you just play the deck the way it's kind of supposed to be played?
Well, with this type of deck, since it's relatively cheap and it is a Hog Earthquake deck, the whole purpose of it is to be aggressive. But I would say on defense, you should try to be a little more cautious of using everything to the most value it can get. Like the Musketeer, for example, really making sure it stays alive and making sure that you protect it with your ice golems and stuff, because that's, I think, the main defensive thing in the game is the Musketeer and the Mini P.E.K.K.A. in the deck are what really just help you defend. So making sure the Musketeer stays alive is one way to do that, to help you defend, and use your towers to also help, support you against those cards that sometimes are like higher level.
Okay, makes sense. This guy, you know what? We joke around, but like he won't beat you, but especially
Ooh,
with the
it's
level
getting
advantage.
close, though.
Yeah, but he won't though, because he needs another whole 2 rockets, and he only has 15 seconds
Yeah,
left,
and
so
he
he needs
can't
a mirror.
get back to a mirror rocket.
But you can see his strategy, you know, the ultimate troll deck. But you know, like if he had landed a couple of those goblin barrels early on, he might have got you, you know.
Yeah.
But it gave us an opportunity to talk a little bit about kind of higher level strategy, or when you're going against a higher level strategy. Anything else? Let's go ahead and just keep the video moving here, because who knows how many troll matches we're gonna get. But let's just go to the second deck. Any final thoughts as you search with a bait deck? Any final thoughts on playing a deck like that without a big spell, and other strategy that you'd advise my viewers play in terms of, or employ in terms of playing against higher level players?
Well, if you aren't using a big spell, you could always substitute in a smaller spell. They tend to do a lot better when you don't have those big spells leveled up, like the Snowball Log, because there's a lot of Skeleton Army at this range. And just to cycle yourself to another card quicker can sometimes be helpful than having that big spell in the deck that in some cases you can't even use.
Yeah, you're
so
right,
it's really
too.
helpful to have.
Yeah, that's a good point, and you're right about like facing witches and wizards when they're over leveled. It doesn't matter if you have Fireball. Oftentimes, it's almost like a waste, you know, because it doesn't do anything against them. It's not going to kill them, and you're not going to be able to combo like a log or a zap. So, good points. Let's go ahead and try the bait deck, and as you are searching here, what do you think of this version of bait? It's the #1 win percentage right now. It's not a new deck, but it's the one with the Dark Goblin, Prince, and Rascals. I'm a big fan of this deck. Should my viewers run it with a rocket that's not like over leveled, or should they sub in something there?
Well, you're going to see I subbed in Fireball because my Fireball was a couple levels higher than the rocket, and a level 7 rocket doesn't do what it needs to, such as normally E-barbs are something everyone talks about, complains about in this range, whereas normally a rocket you just be able to rocket them, but with your rocket being only level 7, they stay alive and would still get a lot of damage on your tower. So this would be an example as to where Fireball would be a better have a better position in the deck than the rocket, just because of having it a little higher level.
Okay, so you're running Fireball right now, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, because you have a higher level. So that's actually a good point as well. And what about a player like this? Like, look at this dude. Same level as you, but his cards are much higher level, and he is playing so aggressively. Now, most players aren't like the best player. My viewers are the best players in the world, of course. But the type of players that they're going against, sometimes they're just over leveled and needlessly aggressive. Like, look at this.
He just like froze my tower with.
He froze your tower and a Prince. But you know, you have to, like, all jokes aside, you have to be careful against guys like these, because like, look at his deck. It's like freeze crap. You know, that's the technical term I believe for this deck. But like, are you playing, like, what do you do against a player like this? Like, crazy play style, just throwing stuff at you, seeing what sticks.
Well,
yeah.
Well, you see, like him, I mean, the difference between how I'm playing and him is he's kind of just playing stuff at the bridge, randomly going in pretty aggressive.
You're reactive,
whereas I'm playing my Rascals carefully on defense, Goblin Gang on defense, to make sure that we stop those cards that can end up being higher level. This P.E.K.K.A 2 here, we pull it back, just making sure we keep up our defense and then have our towers kind of help out.
Yep, and there he goes with the nasty freeze again, but you're ready. Yeah, I noticed that you seem to be playing, or maybe it's just in comparison to him, but you seem to be playing rather conservatively, you know? Would you say that's accurate, or is it just because I'm comparing you to this guy who's super aggressive?
I agree, and also with log bait especially, you do have to play very defensively, and part of it can be waiting for them to use their spell, and then you go send in the barrel, obviously, when they don't have their spell and cycle or they're down an elixir. So overall, it's a pretty, I would say, defensive or like deck, and then you go for counter push sometimes and, you know, bait out their spells. So I agree with that.
Yeah, look at this deck, man. Again, like, is this, so you played this account for a whole month straight. Did you find, is this like the status quo around this at ladder range? My viewers can tell me the same thing, but like, is crazy decks like this, like, all around?
Yes, basically every game, and then once you get to the point, you know, where you've climbed up 200, 300 trophies, it's still the same type of decks, but the difference is their levels have just exceeded yours so much, and you're just not able to break through anymore like you've been before.
Okay. All right, well, that's a problem. We'll talk more about that, but let's talk about Lava Loon. This is the #1 Lava Loon deck right now in terms of, again, win percentages. Thoughts on this deck? Would you change anything to make it better? Talk about levels, and then go and search for a match.
So with this Lava Hound deck, I'd say it's basically the standard Lava Hound deck.
It's a classic.
It's the best Lava Hound deck in the game. The best Lava Loon deck in the game. And I would say in terms of levels, you should probably keep it the same deck, but maybe change the Goblin Gang if you have a much higher Goblin Gang than the guards. If you have a level 12 Goblin Gang, for example, and your guards are only level 9, let's say, then you should probably sub in the Goblin Gang for the guards. Because
let me make it a little bit more interesting. What if your guards were like level 10 and your Goblin Gang was level 11 or something like that? Like only one level separation. Would you go with the epic or would you go with the common that's higher level?
Ooh, it's tough to say, but I would actually say the Goblin Gang, because the Goblin Gang still works very well, but I would say the guards are just slightly better if they're the same level. But the Goblin Gang is still very good, I would say.
Okay, well, let's go ahead. So are you on your account? Are they the same level, guards and Goblin Gang?
Let me double check. So guards are 9, and my Goblin Gang is level 9 as well. Okay. So that's why I'm using guards.
That's cool. And let me ask you real quick, because I meant to ask you this about every deck, but can you quickly go to the deck #1 and tell me what would your #1 upgrade priority be? Like, or maybe for top 2 cards you would focus on upgrade wise?
The Hog Earthquake deck, correct?
Yep.
The Hog Rider for sure, because I always said this as like a tip of advice. Your win condition is by far the most important thing that you want to have upgraded the most in your deck. It doesn't matter if you're using a Hog deck, Giant deck, RG, whatever you're using, win condition is always the most important thing to focus on. So the Hog Rider should be the main thing you want to upgrade. And then after that, that's tough because then the rest are just support cards. But I would say spells are very, very important. So the Snowball,
Musketeer, Snowball, kind of.
Musketeer, those type of cards. Ice Spirit, probably not as much. Bats, not as much.
Ice Golem, not as much. Yeah.
Snowball, Musketeer, definitely
and
those cards.
The next one, obviously, Goblin Barrel is going to be first priority. It's an epic, so it's a little bit more difficult. But then after that, would you focus more on, I don't know, Rascals or something? Dark Goblin?
After
it's tough, right?
Yeah, I would say after the Goblin Barrel, I would say Logbait, well, it typically has Rocket in it. That's pretty important to have high level to make sure that a lot of those interactions are similar. Like, for example, if you're playing Expo, or as I said earlier, Leaf Barbarians, an under-leveled Rocket won't kill them. Sparky, on and on. There's quite a big list as to why.
So Goblin Barrel spell seems to be the go-to for you. And then on the third one, you said you would focus on... what would you focus on there? Again, like hard to difficult to upgrade, like a Lava Hound, you know?
So that, I mean, with the Lava Hound, again, it's pretty important to have, I would say the Balloon is slightly more important than the Lava Hound to have upgraded, to be honest, because the Lava Hound will still tank, but the Balloon is where you're getting your main source of damage, and maybe there'd be situations where it would survive more often than the Lava Hound, or there was a time where it could get more value if it were a higher level.
Okay, let's go ahead and search with the Lava Hound deck.
All right.
Yeah, I need to start asking like upgrade priority a lot more on my channel. So here we go against this guy, and see what he has in store for us. So again, in this range, are you playing a Lava Hound deck pretty typical as you would when I bring on like the pro Lava Hound players in terms of just dropping Lava Hound first play or reactively is okay as your first move?
So I would say at this range, it's pretty risky to just drop a Lava Hound first play in the back because they could just punish you at the bridge with who knows what.
Yeah.
But here I just played a Lava Hound because he played an Inferno first play of the game and there was nothing down, so I knew it was safe to do that. I'm going to send in my Balloon as well here because
Inferno Tower is totally useless.
Yeah.
And did he lightning your Inferno Tower?
He lightning your Lava Hound and the Mega Minion. So that was not good value. Zap here to try to get the Balloon another hit. There we go.
Nice. And yeah, man, when you see, and like obviously, stating, this is the downside, by the way, of videos like this, and this is why I'm reluctant to do too many of them. Obviously, you're doing a great job, but you know, sometimes the players you go against, even if their cards are higher level or their king towers are higher level, the gameplay just isn't necessarily there on that level that it makes it difficult to, you know, you guys can give me feedback if you'd still like, and look at, okay, so Sparky comes out.
Yeah, I agree. At this range, it's really just very unpredictable. You could just destroy someone, and then the next game you yourself get destroyed, and it really comes down to mostly the card levels of what the other person has, and maybe the difference of the player just being slightly better can also help them win as well.
Yeah, I mean, OP lightning again. All right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's difficult because this is exactly why this match right here is exactly why. Nothing against my man over here. I can't even pronounce his name, but this is why I'm reluctant to do too many of these type of videos, but they are incredibly popular requests, so I wanted to try it out. But again, this guy's like really overcommitting with his lightnings, just kind of an unorthodox play style here, aggressive with his Inferno Tower to start things out. So either way, you know, still, again, a good opportunity to talk a little bit about the deck and what you're trying to do here and how the play style differs given your trophy range. So here comes him being super aggressive.
So I would say, as kind of a tip as far as the Tombstone, that's probably the best starting play if you have it in cycle. And then also, don't play it when you don't need to, I guess is another thing.
Especially guards, too, the same advice, I imagine, right?
Yeah, you definitely want to save the guards as well for when you need them. Like in this match, the Sparky, but none the P.E.K.K.A, but we also have the Tombstone for it. So those two cards are just going to help us defend against those two, and then we have no problem.
Yeah. What do you think about a deck like this compared to, like, Lava Miner? Because Lava Miners are really popular as well, especially, like, in challenges. So how do you think they compare, maybe either Skill Cap or even Lava Clone? Like, talk about those three Lava archetypes that are all kind of popular.
Ooh, yeah, I think that's a good thing to talk about, because here's what I would say. I'll start with the Lava Clone. Lava Clone, I think, if you have the levels, would be a great thing to use at this range, because not many people know how to defend it, and I've seen success of other players around this range just destroying people with Lava Clone just because the other person isn't used to versing it, because it's not a meta deck at this range as it is in, you know, the top 200 ladder. And for Lava Miner Goblin Cage, that's probably the best Lava Miner deck right now. I really enjoy it. It's, I think, a bit harder to use, though. It's a little more control than Lava Loon. So I would say if you're starting out learning Lava Hound, Lava Loon and Lava Clone are probably the way to go.
Okay.
If you're looking to like learn a deck quickly and push up.
Okay, makes sense. So a little bit more practice probably for the Lava Miner. Speaking of Miner, we do have a Miner deck coming up next, and it's like the age-old classic deck here with the Mega Knight and the Inferno Dragon and the Miner Skeleton Barrel. Still an ever-present deck in terms of win rates around this trophy range. Go ahead and search for a match, and then while you do, talk a little bit about upgrade priority on a deck like this, because your two cards are legendary, 3 legendary cards in this deck.
So I feel like the Inferno Dragon, it doesn't matter too much if it's level 9, level 10, or 11. The Mega Knight is probably a bit more important to upgrade because there's a lot of interactions that change when you drop it on top of cards. Skeleton Barrel, another one that probably doesn't matter so much. And the Miner, ooh, wow, this guy's a max level minion horde.
Ooh, yeah. And the max level wizard, uh-oh.
Yeah, I have to go in with a defensive Miner here, and I don't know if I have anything for this Sparky. I guess I'll surround with the Goblin Gang and hope that...
Actually, it works out. Oh, he zaps. Forget it. Oh, God.
I can save my tower, but yeah, he's going to do a lot of damage. But yeah.
This is what you're talking about, though.
Mega Knight's pretty important, I would say, to have upgraded.
This is the perfect matchup to illustrate the frustration that players can experience, because look at this guy, man. He literally hit you with a Sparky minion horde wizard at the bridge. That was it. And
yeah, and I just wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah.
And
what can you do? It was an awful play, but you can't do anything against it if you don't have the cards in hand or the levels or whatever. So it's like, this is the frustrating thing about this zone and ladder, definitely. And there's this giant skeleton. Who knows what the last 2 cards are?
E-Barbs, who knows?
Yeah, right? E-Barbs and Rage would be very apropos. So here we go. Absorb 1 hit there really nicely with that. Oh, that sucked.
Yeah. That's gonna do some good damage against the wizard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
actually,
wasn't expecting that Sparky to connect.
Oh, dude, this guy. But it's
Max
okay.
Mini P.E.K.K.A. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. This guy's
And he
just
still
like,
has those zaps, but he missed
it doesn't matter,
the spear
yeah.
goblins.
Yeah. So all you need to do is really take down a tower. I don't think he has a big spell here. Of course, who knows? But you know, I say all you have to do is beat max level everything and take down a tower.
It's gonna be
right?
tough to get. Oh, he
And
did
the
a good
NATO!
play there. He did activate King.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, this is gonna be very frustrating. But I guess these are the type of matches that I really wanted to include too. It's just like in a matchup like this where there's really, you know, you really can't do much at this point. Is it all about like praying and hoping that he makes a mistake?
Well, once you figure out their whole deck,
Yes.
that's very helpful too, because then you know what to do, what not to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need a little bit of luck at this point. Like here, he just sends in the Hog Rider, and there's no way I can stop it from getting a hit because I used my Mega Knight, and
Sure.
then the Hog's level 12. So yeah, that's gonna be GG.
Yeah, well, I want to definitely keep this one in because I want to A, show losses, and B, kind of illustrate that sometimes, even if you do everything right, I mean, how can you prepare for a max Sparky Wizard, or I should say a high-level Sparky and a max Minion Horde Wizard at the bridge, you know? Not much you can do
exactly.
there. So I guess you just gotta, you know, everybody loses is the moral of that story, guys. So on that deck, so you would focus on Mega Knight. As far as the other cards, I guess, what would you prioritize next? Probably like Goblin Gang or Zap?
Yeah, Goblin Gang is pretty important if you could get it to where, you know, the Goblin Gang doesn't die to the Zap, but that might be hard to do if you're versing max Zaps and stuff, but
yeah.
I would say Miner's pretty important too, but you don't need to worry too much about it, but it would definitely be good to trade it and get it to level 10, something like that. And yeah, I would say the Zap is important as well, just to have that extra chip and maybe some interactions, a lot of it change with the Zap.
Sounds good, man. Let's do the last deck, and go ahead and feel free to search with it. It's a very interesting giant Sparky deck. I'm not used to seeing it with Ice Wiz. Maybe I'm just mistaking it, but either way, what do you think of this deck? And talk again about upgrade priority on a deck like this. It has a few win conditions, kind of.
So the first thing I would say is, if you saw in the clan when it was shared, it had arrows in the deck, and I thought a better substitute would be Fireball, just because if your arrows aren't high enough level, I'm sure a lot of you guys know this, but it doesn't kill the minion horde, which is used a lot at this range, which then what's the point of having arrows if they don't do their job of killing minion horde and minions, what they're best at? So Fireball might be a better alternative, because as long as your Fireball is level 9 or 10, they'll kill those max minion hordes.
Okay, yeah, sounds good to me. That makes a lot of sense too, because why are you going to carry a 3 elixir arrows if you can't kill the really important matchups that you need to kill? All right, are you in a match? No, you're not. Okay, just go ahead and search. So with a deck like this, and you know, one thing that I noticed too, just a tip, you know, one of my own tips here, I guess, is that, and I remember this from when I was playing my kind of free-to-play account, is I would be very, very, very careful of when dropping my defensive cards against overlevel players, meaning that, like, when I'm contending with a push, I'd be very, very cautious that I'm only using the cards I need, and here you go. With another interesting opening play. But I'd be very cautious. I'm only using the cards that I need, you know, and I'm sure that's something that you agree with, but like even more so because, you know, I feel like players can just totally spam you, you know, like even when it's not a good play. So it's just something that I'm always cognizant of, is just being very careful with, and there we go with the Witch, Minion Horde, Hog Rider.
And something I think I should say is one of the things I like about this deck is it has the Skeleton Army in it. And the Skeleton Army is very good at stopping overleveled, very overleveled cards, because if they don't have that Zap especially, they really don't have a way to kill it, no matter how high level their cards are, unless it's a splash card, of course, or something like that. But
yeah. In another matchup where you're going against like a really large actually level deficit, especially like your minion horde is level 8 and
he's only a level
12
10 too. That's what's crazy.
Yeah. So there goes
Sparky got a hit though.
Yep. And again, if you had arrows there, I think he would have been screwed, right?
His minion horde's
12.
13, right?
I think it's 12.
Yeah, since my arrows are only level,
Exactly.
I think 9 or 10, 2 levels under, they wouldn't have killed it.
Yeah. So that really comes, that's a perfect illustration. And you actually connect there. This guy's probably going to spam you. Yeah, maybe not. Okay. So that actually works out very well there. So now in this situation, oh.
I do have minion horde at least.
He has arrows.
But, oh, wow, he goes in for the...
Oh, I missed it, though. Nice prediction, but nice job placing it a little bit high. So in this situation, are you going to, like, think about punting that left tower, knowing he has arrows and fireball?
I'm going to ignore it because I know he need... Oh, yeah, that was good, actually. He spent 6 elixirs
yeah,
to take
that's pretty much GG, right? I mean, maybe.
I don't know if it's GG, but he is down quite a bit of elixir, and he just wasted arrows.
Yeah, and he has no
so
fireball in hand.
Our barrel.
Yeah.
And then our minion horde here, and he's right on top of the giant that he just played for whatever reason.
And this is his. This is his incredibly. This is where you can take advantage of players despite the card levels. Just, you know, capitalizing on their mistakes, playing things very slow. He went the ill-advised elite barbarians at the bridge. And on a 300 HP tower when he could have just fireballed, arrows, or whatever. Hog ridered. Hog ridered? Is that a verb?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, GG's, man. That was well played.
Yeah, you can really increase your chances of winning by having kind of when you're in a game, having the mindset of just remembering what deck they have, what their cycle is, and that can really help you even if their cards are over leveled, because you can just end up whenever they make a mistake, taking advantage of that, and then just, you know, kind of building your own push off of their mistake, and then you can end up winning off of that.
Yeah, man. Well, I love it, dude. Thanks so much for coming on. I think that you gave incredibly valuable tips about, especially about, you know, this trophy range specifically, how to substitute cards, how to prioritize upgrades, all stuff like that. So thank you so much for coming on again, boss. I want to give a huge shout out. I should have mentioned at the beginning of the video, but I'll put it in the pinned comment as well, that you stream. How many times a week are you streaming? Like a few days a week? With school back?
Oh, so I'm streaming on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Saturday during the school year, and then during the summer I stream every day, but I don't have that time during the school year.
And are you still active on YouTube, or?
Yeah, I've been very active. I've kept to a upload schedule, and I've been uploading on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday and Sunday. So I stream 4 days a week, upload a YouTube video 4 times a week, and stream and upload 2 times on Saturday.
Awesome. Well, I love the dedication. You're an awesome guy for people to tune into his live stream or his YouTube comments, ask some questions. And boss is like a great guy at really, you're a great advice giver, I feel like. So keep up the great work, man. I admire your dedication here. Stick with it. And hey, who knows? Maybe we'll see you in like CRL some year or something.
I hope so.
All right, dude. Well, thanks again for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Ash.
No problem. Guys, that's going to do it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. The deck links to these 5 decks, again, will be in the show notes, in the description below, along with Boss's YouTube, again, and his Twitch information, and his social media. So thank you for Boss, again, for coming on the channel. Thank you for you guys for watching all the way till the end. And a huge shout out to Stats Royale and to Bren Chong, my YouTube partners. Check out their information as well. Thank you for watching. And as always, take care, guys.